What's going on, guys? It's Jose with Jay's Mobile Auto Glass. Today I have a 2016, well, it's 11 of 2016, what is this, a Chevy 2500, oh no, 1500? I think it's a, no, it's a Sierra, sorry. Sierra truck, 1500 I believe, crew cab. We're doing the rear door glass. As y'all can tell, I have the glass. I've already measured it. As always, at the very beginning, make sure you guys set the glass against the frame to make sure you have the right one. We're doing this one on video because I don't think I have this one on video, and the rear doors are always a little bit tricky, but we're gonna go ahead and just jump right into it. First thing, like most of the cars, remove the little panel cover, access a 7mm there. We're gonna set all our stuff here. He already vacuumed a lot of this, which is really cool. We're gonna have a cover here and a cover down here inside the handle, and we're gonna pull that up gently. We have two of those guys down there, so we have one here, we have one here, two here, and then we have one more at the bottom here, and that should allow us to just pop the panel. Excuse me. Now this little cover here feels a little loose. I'm not sure I'm going to take this off. I'm not really sure why it's loose, but seeing how we have two screws here, I don't think I'm going to have to take off this cover. This switch, I might see if I can pull it off just to see how, because a lot of times I'm going to have to pull the switch off anyways, just to get the window to go up and down as, and I mean, listen, we do have glass down here, so I'm gonna have to vacuum it. I can't find my 7mm socket right away, so another good size to use in case you guys have a lot of standard, thank you America, 932. So is another great size that will work. Again, metric just makes things a little easier when it comes to sockets, sizes. I'm gonna go ahead and remove these two. Okay, those two. Remove this little guy. This saved me the other day. I had a Cadillac rear door glass, and because of that I was able to remove it. Actually, I found it right at the very end after I put all of it back. Sounds like this battery's dying, so battery's dying. So luckily this screw is not too, these screws aren't too tight, so something I was able to do, if you have a pair of like long pliers that can actually bite and twist it, you'll be able to loosen it and take off those screws in case you cannot find your 7mm, or you let your technicians borrow your van and they don't put your tools back, which in this case didn't happen to me, in case they watch my video. But all right, guys, we have taken off one, that's three, and that's four. A total of 4 7mm. What we're gonna do now is see if we can take the panel off. And I was able to do this one by hand. There's grooves on the bottom where you can kind of stick your hands in there and pry. You can use your pig's foot as well. Look for the clips, pop. Look for the clips, pop. Look for the clips, pops. You have them about maybe 4 inches apart each one, as you can tell, but those were all the screws holding it together there. Now what we're gonna do is kind of pull it up and start just pull it up from here, so we can, I think we still have one more clip. Oh yeah, we still had one more clip there. And then we're gonna go ahead and take this panel off. Be gentle, guys, do not bend or break their panel. They already have a door glass that's broken. They don't need to have their panel replaced. All right, and it's just like I said. Now this portion you aren't gonna be able to see, but you have the cable right here, and you have a little connector there for the switch. So what I'm gonna do is get this cable to come off. I'm not sure if you guys can really see, which you can. I don't think you can, so I'm not even gonna bother. All right, this cable is the one that holds it right here, this cable. So what you're gonna wanna do is pinch down and kind of want to get this portion to open up, and then you can pull back, and then you can slide sideways and pull up. Another way to do it, kind of use your finger, pinch both sides here, and then you can go up, pull back, and go there. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the switch here. What I actually did here was, from the inside of the panel, I pushed up and was able to disconnect the able to open it. It's just held by 2 little grooves in here. If you were to pull it up from here, I would recommend sticking a pig's foot, not a metal one, but a probably a fiber stick would be better, and prying it upward and then prying up the rest of it. We're gonna go ahead and disconnect it by pushing this little connector here. And now we got that loose. We got the whole panel out. There is a little bit of a clip here, but it actually just came off pretty easy. This little plastic little Christmas tree is what I call them. Because I don't want his panel to get scratched, we're gonna set the panel. I'm actually gonna set this panel right back here. I was gonna set it there, but I might open up the passenger's door so I can access the switch. We have our vacuum ready to go. We're gonna lean her there. Okay. Now we have access to the whole panel. Removing these two will make it easier to take off this cover. So there's one. So something's burning, but there's two. We'll leave those two there. All right. Now that we have that panel off, we should be able to pull this right off. Again, this is held by butyl, but this butyl seems like it's kind of like, I don't know, just being weird. Usually, it is cold today, this morning, so another reason. Always keep in mind your temperatures of the day and what time you're doing jobs, especially when you're working with adhesives. All right, now we have access to the whole panel here. What's vibrating was this. Sorry, that was confusing me. Am I gonna remove the speaker? No, I have plenty of room to vacuum here. What I'm gonna do is I am gonna remove this cover here. This should pop off by pulling it right here. If not, I can go grab a pig's foot, or I might even just be able to use this tool. There we go, and it came right off. Try not to lose this clip. Same thing for over here. We're gonna loosen her, move her down there. There we go. We have that off. The trick with these, whenever you put them on and take them off, you always want the window down when you put these back on. We have to take this off just because I want to remove this rubber, just so I can get a good clean. And we're gonna kind of bend this forward. We're gonna bend it this way, wiggle it off, see? Wiggle it, wiggle it, wiggle it, wiggle it, and there we go. And then we got the whole little cover there right off. All right, and now what we're gonna do is, we have this little area right here. This is where this is where a lot of people don't see this. You have to remove this foam block. You have to remove this foam block to get the new window in here. That's all you have to do. You don't even have to take off this portion of the trim. That's a little trick. I had a technician do this job, and he actually took a lot longer because he could not figure out how to get the window in there. All right, we're gonna go ahead and remove this rubber. So far we're doing pretty good on the recording. Hopefully this video does help y'all out with Chevy owners. All right, we're gonna pull the rubber nice and easy. Do not yank, just kind of like wiggle it out gently. There we go. Also keep in mind, leaving glass on your customer's floor, on their cement. They might have kids, and plus some people like to walk barefoot. So make sure you vacuum all that up, or you broom it all up. As you guys can hear, you can hear glass inside this rubber. I'm gonna clean her out in a second. I'm gonna put that right there because I'm gonna get to it and vacuum it and clean it. That's probably the most important part, is cleaning that out. Also making sure you have no glass in between these grooves here. 10 millimeter holding this one, another 10 millimeter here. So you have one and then two 10 millimeters holding that. We're gonna go ahead and grab a 10 millimeter here. We're gonna use this one. Do I have another? I was hoping I had another battery for the ratchet, but I do not, so I'll have to put it to charge in a second. So far we have 9 minutes into the video and we're almost done. We're gonna loosen this one. So, alright, we have both out. The bar, just gonna kind of, you can either leave it in there, but I'm gonna take it out because I'm gonna vacuum. Go up, and there we go. We got the bar out of the way. Set her there. I'm setting it exactly how I got it out. It only goes in one way too, guys. So these are the only two 10 millimeters you're gonna deal with today. So you'll be fine there. All right, theoretically we can go ahead and start vacuuming. Really easy so far, 10. But actually we're gonna do one more thing before we start the vacuuming process. just because I almost missed it. You have two access holes right here where the window is going to get bitten, where it gets held in. You're going to want to loosen these two. I believe they're 10 millimeters as well. This is where you want to use a deep socket, a deep well socket. I should have a deep well socket here somewhere. I do, but it's a 1/4 inch. And what I'm gonna do is do it by hand. I'm gonna do it by hand on this one, or not by battery powered. It's better anyways to use a manual ratchet, just because you don't want to over tighten the glass. You can break it if you over tighten it. The whole point is to just make sure you get a nice grip. So usually the window will be all the way up, so you'll have to kind of get it up there. You want to lower the window a little bit before you really take off the switch and everything, but I can access it there, so I'm just going to go ahead and just loosen her. We're going to loosen it. If you want to poke your head in here and kind of take a look, you don't want to completely take out the screw. Never completely remove the screw on any regulators that use the hold kind of little clamps. So do not completely take out the screw there. So we're gonna keep loosening it until we get a good little open. I'm looking at it from here. I'm not sure if the camera can see it. All right, we got a good little open. So now what I'm gonna do there is I'm gonna stick a pig's foot and kind of just get the rest of that glass out of there. Keep your eye, be careful with your eyes too, guys, just because you don't want to get glass in your eyes. So all right, we should have gotten all of it. Sometimes you'll have some pieces of the glass like stuck on it. I'll sometimes just blow with my mouth just to get it out. I do have a little air leaf blower I use to kind of get the rest of the glass shrapnel or glass dust. Tempered glass does leave like glass dust all over the areas here, and you don't want your new glass to get scratched up, or sometimes even the pressure might cause it to pop. But we're at the vacuuming stage of this. Let's vacuum her up and get her out of here. All right, guys, I am back. I'm gonna go ahead and just clean this out right here, kind of open it up here in the trash can, get all this crap out of here. Again, this is the most important part of it all, is getting all this glass out of here. If you do not, it is always, I say this in every video, it's always an awkward when we see a glass chunk right there missing. Conversation with the customer of why they can still hear glass. Even the tiniest amount of glass will cause a lot of noise. So just kind of putting your finger in there and opening up the gaps. Be careful not to cut yourself. A lot of times if you shake it, you can hear the glass as well. And I believe I got all of it out of there. I'm gonna take another look here in the sun. Make sure you have no glass shrapnel, anything of the sort. And then just go from there. Really. Oh, look, see, we had that big chunk right there, guys. I'm telling you, you guys cannot miss any piece of glass, because it is always a very awkward conversation. I had one time where I thought I cleaned out the whole glass, and I accidentally left one, and it ended up scratching my customer's new glass toward the bottom of the, toward the edge of the glass, luckily, and he did not mind. I still showed him at the end. All right, we have this cleaned out. We're gonna go ahead and start. I lowered, now I have the switch back connected, and I have the vehicle on because I lowered the window all the way down. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and put the window in. Right now, putting the window in will be very easy. If you try to put the window in when you put the rubber and all that back, you're not gonna have a very easy time. So make sure you get a good grip on your window. This is, the extra pair of hands doesn't hurt. Now we're just gonna be able to slide the window right straight in through that gap opening. I just heard another piece of glass fall, and now we have the glass right in here. Now we're gonna go ahead and rest the glass into those two little bite marks, into the little what is the little, I don't know what they're called, the metal tabs there that help keep the glass locked in place. And now we're just gonna make sure that the glass feels okay. She's not fighting me, she's not being aggressive. So I'm gonna just make sure that we're set, and there we go. The glass is now set nice and parallel there. We're not gonna tighten this just yet. And the reason is we still have to put the bar back in here. And once we put the bar, well, actually the bar will probably go back up when we have the window all the way up. I'm debating. I'll see if I can put this metal bar or this plastic bar back in now or later. I'm gonna try to put it in right now and see what happens. Let's see what happens, guys. We might still have a good bit of room in here. And yeah, actually so far seems like you can put the bar back in. Just gotta get behind the glass, and there we go. Yep, so you're able to put the bar back on. Now we just have to line up the holes here. All right, see, so we got one guy lined up there, one of the 10 millimeters. I'm awkwardly placed here. We're gonna tighten her here. We're gonna snug it. We're gonna get this guy in here as well. Alrighty. There we go. And now we have the bar back in there. Am I gonna tighten it? I don't think I'm gonna tighten it either. I'm just gonna make sure that the glass is in between there. And it looks like we are. Now we can put the rubber grommet, this rubber strip back in there. I don't know why I said grommet, it's not a grommet. I'm gonna grab some glass cleaner so I can actually get it to slide in there a whole lot easier. Seafoam glass cleaner does a lot better. This one's more of a cleaner than a lubricant. It doesn't really help it slide too much, so I'm just gonna lube everything up in here so it slides nice and easy. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start up here and just get it to slide, and I'm gonna see if I can get the window to go ahead. Oh, and we are in there. We should get it to just kind of go in. So actually I was trying to push it more than I had to, my bad. So we got that in there. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing for this one. Kind of put the rubber and then just kind of slide and go in evenly. There we go. So go down, go down, go down. Again, that glass cleaner will really help. Just making sure that you're kind of getting in there. I'm gonna, real quick note, as I pushed it down, I don't feel like I'm in here all the way on the rubber, but I just want to get the top portion in here first because I'm gonna get the window to go up and kind of just fix it, put my hands back in there and make sure it's nice and inside the groove. So right here, we're all good. I am gonna just make sure that we're in between. The rubber did get in between the glass, which it did go in between the glass. So if we were to raise the window up, man, by our hands, not with the motor. See, as you guys can see, I got my hand, not with the actual motor. We are good. So we're gonna go back and we're gonna raise it up a little bit and just kind of look at it from here. And you can see these are the two little tabs that you want to make sure you bite into it. Now you can either tighten them right here a little bit, just so you got a little bit of a kind of a little bit of a tension there helping you. I'm just gonna kind of like snug them. I'm not gonna completely tighten it, just kind of snug it a little bit. And the reason why I'm doing this is just so I can, just so it guides it a little bit. Once you put the window all the way up, the window will adjust itself properly. Because if you were to tighten here, you might not be actually, like, see how we got all this place still? You want to make sure the window's in the complete rest position and go from there. So now that we got a little bit of a guide tension, we're gonna go up all the way. Also, I'm gonna stop talking in this portion, but listen to make sure you don't hear any glass scraping. Now when we get to this point, now is where you want to snug it as good as you can. Again, do not clamp, do not do a mechanic tighten. This is just a snug as much as you can. This glass will explode if you over tighten. There's another reason why we don't use the battery powered one. Okay. Also, those rubber little, these are actually grommets, or the little rubber pads that are in those clamps. You gotta make sure you take out all that glass. If you tighten with a piece of glass in there and you keep going, you could cause this glass to pop, and which would be really bad. So now I'm just gonna snug it. Now a good way to test that you're all the way, yeah, it's holding really good. Go down about halfway. You don't have to go up, and then just kind of see if you can pull it out. If you can pull it out, not too forcefully, just enough to where like you're kind of giving it a little bit of tension, then if you're able to pull it out, you need to tighten it more. So I'm not able to pull it, so we're fine. All right, And that, guys, is how you do the window. But let's not forget that we still gotta tighten these bad boys. So let's go ahead and tighten this one. Now these can be tightened normally. I'll tighten that one. Now we got that guy tightened, Kool-Aid. Okay, now we got those two tightened. We got all that on. Now we work backwards. I'm gonna go ahead and put this piece back on. Because it's a Chevy, I'm not too worried about the anti-pitch system. So I'm just gonna disconnect it. I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried about it on other particular vehicles. And I've gotten a lot better at, oh, put your little lock thing back up here. Excuse me, guys. All right, we're gonna go ahead and, how did this go? I think this just went outside. We're gonna go like this. Stretch that out. Now this butyl should still be kind of adhesive there. I don't know why I'm putting this back on. I gotta give another touch-up vacuum, so give me 1 second before I forget. I'm gonna give one more touch-up vacuum in case as I put this on more glass fill out. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I got to finish up that vacuum portion. Let me go ahead and put up this panel, this little panel cover. Please try and save it. It's not the end of the world if you don't save it. Also, make sure you're lined up on this little portion there. These little things are going to be a little annoying to kind of get in there. I'm really hoping I can kind of like. Actually, what I'm going to do is to help that. Let's do a little trick here. We're gonna grab a roll of tape, just a little bit. We're gonna put tape, and then we're just gonna kind of open that little hole with our poker, just so we know. And now we got access to that hole right there, so we should be fine. So when we go and tighten the those bolts will be fine, just in case if it's giving you issue there. Okay, all right, now we can start working backwards. We're gonna connect the switch back. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this portion first. Lower the window all the way down. Beautiful, I don't hear scraping. I'm gonna go ahead and put this plastic trim back up on it. Now you do have two clips here on the side, so I'm gonna go ahead and latch those two up, bad boys up. Put this, hold it here, push that button in there. Go there. Now we're gonna kind of just get this to bite, and now we're just gonna go. We're gonna kind of work. We're gonna kind of like spread it that way. Which actually no, never mind, guys. Sorry. Smart disregard that. What I just about that. Pop these back out, and then go first. Put this portion on, slide it, and then pull it that way. You'll be struggling if you listen to me. And now you can push those panels in there to hold it into place. So, and now what I'm gonna do is kind of, also you want this lip, I believe you want this lip on the outside, so you want this little lip. I'll get to it in a second. Same thing over here, look into it, get it to bite, There you go, way easier like that. And then get this clip to push in there. And now we should have this all good, pretty, there we go. We have all that good to go. Rubber looks good. If you're ever confused on how the rubber sits, you can always take a look at the other side. So take a look at the other side in case you don't know how it goes in there, but I am pretty sure we are fine. And just because I feel like this rubber piece might actually go inside this rubber, I'm trying to make sure which I don't know if it goes inside or outside, so I'm gonna go take a look at the other side just because I'm debating myself. Again, you want it to look exactly as it did before. So now we're gonna lower the window and take a look. Now if we look, we actually have the rubber on the outside, so the whole thing's on the outside, so we're good there. It just looked, it almost gave the illusion of it going into it because it has the little groove there. Okay, now that we have all that back the way it was, we have the little lock back in this little area. We have this. We're gonna disconnect the switch again because we don't need it here. We're gonna put this little bracket back on. We're gonna put these two bad boys back in. I would actually go ahead and, oops, got it the wrong way. Almost dropped, I didn't want to drop it. So the tape's covering one of those holes, but as you guys can see, the tape actually helped me on that bottom one. Grab this little boy. Overall, I'd say about a 30-minute job. Vacuuming did take me a little longer just because it is giving me a little bit of issues. It's not my vacuum, and I think my inverter battery is not holding charge anymore, so I gotta figure out, I gotta put a new battery inverter on that. And for those who just wondered, I did not put the foam piece back on, so that is my fault, but we should be fine. I did forget to put the foam piece back on, so that is a big L. But it's not the end of the world. We can put it back on in a second, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put all this back on first. I'll put that, we have that on, we have this on. So because we forgot to put the panel back on, the little foam piece, which I just realized, again, it's not very lit up there. We're just gonna pop this off, same thing as before. We're gonna pull that way. So we're gonna pull that way, in case you guys can't see. Pull that off, pull that off. Now we have access to that. You want the R, and you just want to stick it, the foam piece back in there. There we go. Not the end of the world. I'm not that good with foam or remembering where a lot of plastic pieces went. Actually, no, let me not put that back in yet. All right, give me 1 second. All right, popped her back in. We are good. All right, guys, let me enter this call. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I am back. Here, I'm gonna go ahead and fix this rubber piece. Alrighty. Okay, now we got the back trim here fixed. We're gonna go ahead and put the panel back up and just bolt it back up together. Take a look at your panel. Make sure there's no glass. This looks like glass shrapnel here, but I don't know. Let me put it upside down. Make sure there's no glass, and there is a little bit of glass. See, that's a big chunk of glass. Now, to make our life easier, I'm gonna show you guys a little trick, because this panel can be very difficult to put on if you don't know the tricks here and there. So on this panel, there's these little, I think there's only 2, 3. I think there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Okay, we're gonna pop this little rubber piece off. And by doing that, we're gonna pinch up in here, pinch this guy out, and then go from the bottom. What I might do is just kind of do this, actually. Pull the rubber piece straight up and angle kind of like this way. This will just make your life easier, trust me, guys. Now, you have these clips. You need to pop these clips off. So what I'm gonna do is start from the top and then kind of just go, there's one. I'm gonna push up, then push down on the top one. Well, that one came out a little easier. Okay. There it is again. There's one. Hold up, my knees are hurting, guys. I might actually put it up here. Give me a second. Here it'll be a little easier for me, so. All right, you have a panel there. I'm gonna pop this boy up. All right, there's one, there's two. Same thing as this. Go from behind here. You'll figure out how to get them out. Just kind of, what they are is they're just pinched in there. So if you look, these guys are just pinched in there. So you want to get these two off to make your life 10 times easier. So hold up, guys. There's two. I'm seeing like kind of twisting to the side helps a little bit. So alrighty. Hold up, let me put these right here. This last one's giving me a little bit of trouble. Again, don't get frustrated and break it. Take your time. It's probably the hardest part of this whole job, just taking off these little clips. But this will make your life a lot easier than trying to squeeze this thing in. There it is. So we have all 4 of them off. 2, 3, 4. All right, so we have all 4 off. What you're gonna wanna do is literally just push it into these grooves. You have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. All right, now when we put this panel back on, we'll be able just to literally just push it back on, which is awesome. But before that, you gotta put this piece on. Again, we can't be forgetting stuff. All right, again, double check this. Stick your hand in there. Make sure you don't see any glass stuck in there. We're gonna just slide her in here. Slide her in here. It sits right on top of that. This will make your life so much more easier, guys. Again, check your lock. And now what we're gonna do is put this piece back in. Same way as you took it off. Put it in the ball first. Pull it into that little groove, then push it. It locks in there. Put the connector through the hole, or you're gonna have to take off the panel again. So make sure your panel looks like this. Now, put the lock in here if you can without pulling it out of its little area. Sometimes it should also pop back in its area if you have it in the right location. Now we have that. We have it in the panel. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of push it up. All right, now what we're gonna do is literally just push straight. Now that we push it just straight, that's it. There's none of this like pushing it and then kind of getting it to lock in there, guys. Not on this one. It'll take you a lot longer. All right, connect the switch back. Before we bolt her back up, let's test her one more time. Excellent. Automatic down works beautifully. I'm not sure about the automatic up. Usually sometimes the windows don't have automatic up there in the front, but we'll worry about that when we get to that point. Now we're just gonna push this down. Okay. We're gonna grab these 4 sockets. Screws, sorry. No, I said sockets. Again, since our ratchet died, we're gonna do this by hand. Again, the fact that I don't have a 7mm right now kind of sucks, but it's in the bag. I physically went back to the shop and threw one in my bag, but I just didn't feel like looking for it, hunting for it too much. Alright, what I'm going to do is just kind of like do it by hand. It's a little bit faster. I'm just going to snug them anyways. They're not supposed to be suspension parts tight. It's supposed to be just snug. Again, it's plastic, guys, so snug it. There we go. I'm actually just going to do a little snug with the ratchet just to be safe. I don't want them to wiggle out over time, so. Alright, then we got the bottom one. Now the bottom one's weird because it goes in at a weird angle, so even unscrewing it, you might feel like you have the wrong size, but it's just because it goes in at some awkward angle. So let's just go ahead and Get her in there. All right. Alrighty, guys, keep note on the scratches on the panel too. You don't want to get blamed for scratches on the panel, especially when you guys saw that we really didn't move the panel at all. Well, or at least manhandle that panel. Put the clothes back in. They only go in one way. Also, make sure you can hear this opening when you pull the lever. If you do, you did good. If not, take off the panel again, go back to the beginning of my video and leave a like. Guys, we're done. Overall, it says here 41 minutes. I vacuumed. The vacuum kept turning on and off. I say I probably took about 30 minutes. Like, you could probably get this done in 20 minutes if you were to fly through it. You knew what you were doing. Double check your rubbers. Make sure it just looks pretty, guys. Don't just leave in and out. Clean your window as well. Double check to make sure no more glass fell in here. I gave it a little bit of a touch up and I don't see a lot of glass. Hopefully this video helps you guys out. Make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe to the channel, join our Discord. I think there's only me and some other guy called Trejo Glass. Let's get that Discord community up for all the glass installers where we can share advice, talk about what we got going on in our days, and just good customer experiences or even bad customer experiences. Yeah, that's it, guys. And hopefully, again, this saves you guys some money if you're not able to pay someone to do this job for you. And this video was very informative. You guys have a great day. Later.